Cardiff Bay's busy, vibrant waterfront attracts thousands of visitors every year. There are plenty of places to explore, on land or at sea.
And that's exactly what I'm going to be doing today with Captain Gorgeous here. His words, not mine, but it's a gorgeous day for it, isn't it?
Welcome on board.
Thank you so much.
Watch the steps there, Ruth.
Ooh.
OK, Ruth, if you'd like to sit in the front of the boat, that's the first-class seats on the boat.
Only the
best seats on Daffodil.
Only the best.
Only the best. Let's cast off.
I'm on board a boat fondly called the Daffodil. It's not called the Leak for obvious reasons. His joke, not mine. Master of bad jokes and my skipper today is Ben Salter, and he's been running trips around the bay for the past 25 years.
So, Ruth, if you look on our right-hand side here, we've got the nature reserve.
Yeah.
And this area is known as the wetlands. The whole of this side of Cardiff Bay has been kept wild for the birds.
Yeah.
This fence you can see in the water here stops rubbish from floating into that part of the bay. All that in there is for the wildlife. Sadly, after heavy rain, all sorts of rubbish can come floating down the River Taff.
Yeah.
But this fence stops it getting into that part of the bay. So all that in there is for the wildlife. If you look over there, look, you can see some,
look at this.
some Canada geese.
Before the barrage was built, this was all mud flats. The area has been completely transformed. Even the water is not the same.
It's not salt water.
No, Cardiff Bay is fresh water.
Yeah.
And even people that live locally don't realise that Cardiff Bay is a freshwater lake.
Yeah,
hence the big variety of wildlife.
Picking up a bit of speed, we start to cross the bay. We then reach the more gentle waters of the River Ely, which is one of two rivers which feed into the bay.
So we're heading somewhere that you don't tend to see. It feels a bit off the beaten track, really, but...
Yeah, I mean, we're in the River Ely now,
Yeah.
and we're passing all these boats here. This is Cardiff Yacht Club, and you know, between the Yacht Club and the Cardiff Marina further up the river, over 1,000 boats,
1,000 boats
tied up in the River Ely.
It's interesting, isn't it, how the port of Cardiff, in a sense, has evolved. And we've gone from it being sort of the old days of a fully working industrial port to...
And where we are now, I mean, on the right-hand side of the river here was one of the first coal exporting areas of Cardiff. Penarth Harbour and Dock Railway used to have coal staves along here, and ships would come in, get loaded with coal, and then the coal was taken all around the world. Later, Esso had an oil terminal here.
Amazing.
And we had ships coming in and picking up oil, or dropping off oil. And now, as you say, look at the change. We've gone from an industrial scene to a purely leisure scene with all these yachts.
I may not be on a multi-million-pound cruiser, but I'm thoroughly enjoying myself on the Daffodil. I've also come to the conclusion that Ben is a floating encyclopedia on the history of the bay, which is further confirmed when he points out a small mural under a bridge.
I didn't know there was a tunnel under the river.
Yeah.
How? Why are we not using it? Where is it?
Before Penarth Marina, there was Penarth Docks.
Yes.
And a lot of the workers for Penarth Docks were coming from the Cardiff side of the river. And there used to be a little chain ferry across the river. But of course, before the barrage, this was tidal.
Yeah.
So twice a day, this, of course, was all mud,
Yeah.
apart from a little sort of muddy stream at the bottom.
Right.
So that people were finding it hard to get across the river. And of course, there was a lot of shipping coming up down the river. So someone came up with the idea, we need to have a tunnel under the river.
Genius.
So they built a tunnel under the river, which opened in 1899 and was in constant use up until 1963.
That's incredible. I did not know that.
The mural is our little visual reminder of days gone past. How lovely. And then it's full steam ahead out to the engineering marvel that is the barrage. Built in the 1990s, it was controversial at the time because of the potential impact on the environment.
Basically, it's a dam holding the water in from the River Taff and the River Ely. The two rivers combine here in Cardiff Bay. Of course, before the barrage, this was the sea. The rivers would just flow out into the sea.
The level of water in the bay is controlled by the sluice gates. They also create a barrier to stop the high tide from entering the bay. Over 250,000 litres of water per second can flow through each gate. That's a lot of water.
I think everybody has agreed now that it's been a great thing for Cardiff, bringing people in from all over the world to experience Cardiff Bay.
Then it's time to head back to shore. What an absolute treat it's been. I'm a bit blown away by it all, to be honest, and it's not just because I've been out in the open air.